Okay, so we are going to do that. And then I am going to share my screen. Okay. Oh, got lots going on here. Okay. So, so welcome, guys. I'm like I said, I think there's some more folks that might be joining us, but I think we've got pretty good representation across the board. So first of all, I want to introduce you to me. I'm Remy. You've probably been getting lots of annoying emails from me. But I'm the executive director of Repowering Schools, and we are super excited to have you guys joining us for this hybrid system design project. It's kind of an experiment, right? And it's definitely a little bit different than our last research project that we did with universities. But we're really excited to have you on board. And this is your opportunity to ask me lots of questions and make sure you understand how this is all going to work. But I wanted to just go through some logistics of what you guys signed up for, and specifically the logistics of our first milestone, which is coming to RE Plus in like 2 weeks, which is a super quick turnaround. So I appreciate everybody who's been willing to work with me on this. And we'll go over some of the logistics around the event, and then we'll make sure that you understand what the next steps are after RE Plus, so we know where we're heading. So the first thing I wanted to do was to give us an opportunity to get to know each other. So we're going to do a little around the room where you get to introduce yourself. And so the way I run this is I will pick somebody and they get to introduce themselves, and then they get to pick the next person until we get all the way around the room. And so I would love for you to introduce yourself. And if you can tell us just a little bit about maybe how you're planning to approach this hybrid system design project, if you have a client in mind, or if you're doing it through a capstone or a course or something like that. Just a quick 30-second overview of what kind of flavor you're given this project. So Hamed, you're first on my screen, so I'm gonna let you reintroduce you and your students and tell us a little bit about what you're thinking, and then pass the mic.
Yeah, so I'm faculty member of electrical engineering. So my background is control power electronics. So for this interesting opportunity, I have two of my students who are senior students, and they are actually taking the senior design capstone project from this fall, because their capstone would be executed within this semester, and also the next semester. They will be graduated in May 2024. So Chris actually, just besides me, he's planning to work on the solar, maximum power point tracking control algorithms, and also the battery controller, state of the charge. And also Miguel, another senior student, he will be in charge of designing the inverter. Could be used for the solar PV, could be used for wind converter, and also for the battery energy storage devices we would have for our benchmark microgrid system.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. And if you can just select somebody from your screen to introduce themselves next.
So maybe Jacob.
Hi, I'm part of the Amherst group. We're also doing this for a senior project. We haven't really locked in on one idea that we're going to be doing for this. We're kind of go through this webinar, see what it's all about, and then try to focus and dial in and figure out what we're going to do from there. But I know a couple of our other group mates are in here that kind of have the same introduction. So I'll pass it off to one of them. If Cabell wants to introduce himself.
Cabell, you're muted.
Sorry about that. I'm Cabell. I'm a senior at UMass Amherst studying mechanical engineering. I'm working on the capstone project with my teammates here. And like Jacob said, we haven't nailed down the specifics, but we are going to be we do know we're going to be working with the Amherst public schools local to us on something with them. and I'll pass it to Duncan.
Hi, I'm Duncan with Appalachian State University. We're looking at a project with one of the local community colleges, Caldwell Community College, to build a system for them. It'd be outdoors, sort of a picnic table next to a garden. Ideally, we can power the things for the garden using a solar and wind system. And so it'd be an educational experience for the people at the local community college. Also, I'm here with Shijoki, so I can pass to him so he can introduce himself as well.
I'm Chijoke from the same Appalachian State University with Duncan. So I'm in line with him. I'm in my master's program.
Wonderful. Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure.
Okay. Can you pass it on to the next person on your
I can
list?
see another person from my screen. There's no other person I can see from my screen here.
Oh, no. Okay. I can, do you want me to, I can pass it on then for you.
Okay.
Let's see. How about, and I'm not going to say it right, but Yuan?
Yes, that's right. My name is Yuan Xie. I'm from the California State University, Fresno. First of all, I'm super excited to get this opportunity to do this project with everybody here. And our plan is we're gonna do a senior design team, and right now we are still forming the team. So roughly, I guess we're gonna have 2 to 3 students in this team to work on hybrid system design. We plan to look at both solar and wind systems, and I will let my student to do the design work to see what kind of great idea they're gonna have. But basically, I'm gonna give them a framework. Follow the instructions I'm gonna learn today. Thank you very much, and I'm very happy to meet everybody here.
Yes, you as well. John Peterson, how are you doing? Good to see you.
I'm doing good. I'm from Oberlin College. I'm a professor of environmental studies, a systems ecologist by training, but I do lots of work on energy from a renewable perspective, really solar. Haven't done much with wind, but I'm really here with Charles Newcomb, who's an OC grad together with me. We graduated. Did we graduate the same year? I graduated in '88. When did you graduate?
I was a class of '87, but I was on a 5-year plan.
Yeah, well, I was on the 5-year plan too.
Oh.
But at any rate, Charles can say a little bit more. I can tell you what I'm interested in. I'm interested in seeing our local elementary school. They just built a new school. It's 80% solar powered with the on-site arrays, and I'd love to add a little wind turbine to that because I think it would add a lot of educational value. We built a very sophisticated data metering and display system for that building. We meter classroom level electricity use, and it's just quite a sophisticated system with 41 data points, and I'd love to add wind to that point. But Charles has different ideas, and I'm definitely up for going with Charles. So let me just introduce our 2 students who are not here, Ryan Fontanez and Ottavio Nascimento. I think they're both actually computer science majors, but they both work with me on environmental projects. So they're real interested in this kind of things. But I'm gonna call on Charles to sort of fill in because he's really the lead on this project, not me.
Well, I'll also note before Charles chimes in is, John, I love what you're doing with that local school, but just adding this wind turbine would be great, but also you need something on the ground for solar because those solar panels on the roof
we have both ground mounted and roof mounted.
Oh, awesome.
For that building. What made you think we only had roof mounted?
I don't know. Most schools only have roof mounted.
No, we've got huge ground mounted. The problem, I tried to convince them to put them in front of the school. They put them in the back of the athletic field. So I had a real battle with them. I raised the damn money. I wrote the grant to put it in, but they decided where it went. And damn it, it's in the back of the athletic field. So it's not a great location, but it is ground mounted.
It's probably a good location from a production standpoint, just not from a promotional standpoint.
Yeah, it would have been just as good from a production standpoint being out on the street in front of the school, so everyone would drive by it every time they went to the school.
Yes, totally. Well, John, thanks for introducing me. I'm cheating big time because I'm involved with rewiring schools and very fortunate to be able to do that. And Oberlin is my alma mater, and I've long wanted to do something for Oberlin. And then we met. My daughter just graduated from there, and her mentor and just a person was is the chaplain at Oberlin, among other things, and he has a remote classroom that hosts lots of people, and right now they use kerosene lanterns for their light, and it's a beautiful house, tiny little house, tiny home. Made by the Amish, so you can just imagine what it would look like. It's gorgeous, and I just see it going up in flames because of the care. And so I'm terrified of that. And I'm like, how do I give back to this guy? How do I help him? And I didn't feel like dropping the money myself. So I like, hey, maybe repowering schools would find this to be a useful thing. So it would be actually not just demonstration, but it really would be a functional step up for him. And then, John, I'll make a deal with you. The deal is that if in 2 years he's going after a bunch of other grants and he may electrify the building, and if he electrifies the building, I will drive to Oberlin and I'll move it to wherever you want. How's that? Anyway, so I'm a huge fan of that. My background is I've been in renewables for about 25 years or so, maybe a little longer, and half of the time at NREL. And so I have this sort of researchy background, plus half of my time in industry building hybrids and wind and solar systems around and doing analytics and all that kind of thing. So I have a real passion for renewables and I love it. And I just try to, infect anybody who's willing to hold still long enough for me to convince them that they should be helping out. And so John, thank God for John and being willing to be the guinea pig and being willing to be bullied by some stupid alum classmate. So John, thank you so much for your willingness to just put up with this. I really, really appreciate you.
Hopefully it'll be worth it in the end. And just know, Charles, you're not
totally.
the only one who is using their own, selfish ways, because that's why Jonathan Miles is here, because I'm my alma mater and my boss. And he's so John, are you even there? If you want to introduce yourself real quick.
Yeah, I am here, Remy. And you sure you're not my boss?
I don't know. That's all.
Feels that way. I don't know. No, thank you for the introduction. And I was just looking at the participants. And can you hear me okay, Remy?
Yeah, it's a little bit of background noise, but otherwise.
Okay, that's all right. I'll introduce myself quickly here. I am professor in the School of Integrated Sciences at here at JMU, James Madison University, and I also serve as the executive director for the Center for the Advancement of Sustainable Energy. And I don't know, Remy, is there anything in particular you'd like me to cover? Should I talk a little bit more about CASE or talk about our project concept? Or
yeah, just tell a quick 30-second on your project concept.
Okay, well, real quick, and ironically, I'm in between classes right now and just spoke to two students who are hoping to make their way to RE+. And one thing, so last year, one of the outcomes of our collegiate wind competition activity was the formation of a new student club at JMU called the Sustainable Innovations Club, or SIC, and they are getting ready to relaunch for the new academic year and are looking for projects. And I thought this was a nice opportunity to give them something right from the get-go here to be working on and thinking about. And we have thought about, given that Virginia is in the early stages of a energy transition meant to culminate in 2050 to be fully decarbonized, and that Virginia, like many states, is experiencing some very real challenges of to deployment. We hope, which can be mitigated somewhat by better informing the public and various constituencies, that they would like to create what we're calling right now Virginia's Energy Transition Interactive Demonstration. And the idea would be what my student Sam and I were just talking about a few minutes ago. Imagine a large, almost like a mobile on wheels, can be rolled down the hallway, kind of a board that shows Virginia, a map of the state, but would have the various technologies that are either already in development, are getting ready to be deployed, and are on the radar that would all contribute to that. And what we're thinking about is that this would be a tool that we would use to better explain the benefits and opportunities that come along with deployment of these technologies. But the interactive part is one where we're thinking on the backside of this map, there would be electronics and logic that would enable people. We're thinking largely K-12 kids here to kind of connect wires from one to another, and there'd be some dials set up where they could dial in different levels of generating capacity and you know, on a very, I'd say at a rather simplified level, move around the way that current is flowing from one location to another. It's very much just an idea right now. It's a concept, but we want to
That's
give
why they go to RE Plus to finalize.
yeah, something that's very conceptual right now, but something that would be hopefully attractive, particularly to kids, because they get to play with it and they'd get to try it out and try different iterations and configurations and see what's, at the end of the day, they're trying to optimize and maximize generation while keeping carbon to a minimum.
Cool.
I mean, I hope that adequately explains the idea.
I think that's great. And I just want to make sure that we get the last couple of folks, Kim and oh, my cursor is over. I'm not going to say your name right. Grayane, and are both here, and Jeff that haven't introduced themselves yet. So, Kim, do you want to go first? Oh, you're on mute, kiddo.
Hello. Thank you. My name is Kimberly Guthrie. I am currently representing Northern Oklahoma College. We do not currently have a team, but I am here to kind of listen in and lay some groundwork and get some information going. So that is all.
Awesome. Thanks, Kimberly. Good to have you here. And she's going to be at RE Plus helping out anyway. So awesome. Jeff, or I'm not going to say your name.
Hi, I'm Grania. I'm a senior. Yeah. I'm also part of the Amherst group. My teammates kind of laid down that we don't really know which direction we're going yet. But yeah.
It's nice to meet you either way. That's okay. We have lots of times to figure out the way you're going to take the project. And Jeff?
Hey, how you doing? I'm also on the Amherst team. So we kind of just joined up today just to kind of see what this is about, and then we could brainstorm kind of from there. We also have Jim LeGrant here, he's our professor. He's kind of our leader.
Yes.
So I don't know if he's introduced himself yet, but if we want to kick it
Jim
to him.
and Sohad both got away with not introducing themselves yet. So.
Yeah, thanks for the introduction, Jeff. So this will be the second project we're doing with Repower. We have a lot of wind experts at UMass. I'm not one of them. I actually have a background in manufacturing and process automation. This project, we will be working with our local high school with their engineering for social good course, where our students will be demonstrating the design process through our capstone project. It's a year-long project this year. And it's the high school students that are going to tell us what it is we're trying to do, what need needs to be met. And that can be anything from use on the school's campus to an educational teaching system. So we will find out in the next couple of weeks what it is that we need to be designing to.
Awesome. Wonderful. Thanks for being here, Jim. And here's to a second year. Really excited to work with you again. Sohad, I believe you're the last introduction, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, I came late. I had class. Hello, everyone. Good to see all of you again, and new faces also. Welcome. It's also our second project with Raimi and RE Powering Schools. My name is Sohad Abu Elzait. I'm assistant professor at Appalachian State University, the Sustainable Technology and Built Environment Department. And we're gonna build that system for our local community college, Caldwell Community College. They have two campuses, one here in Boone in the mountains. So they have this beautiful scenery on the top of the mountain, and the students love to work there, but they kind of, they don't have outdoor chargers and to charge their laptops, their phones. So they're kind of trying to build in canopies. So this project came right in time to provide them with something. And yes, with this wonderful team, I hope we'll do good.
I'm sure you will. It sounds like a fantastic way to get the local community college on board. So thank you for introducing yourselves, guys, and welcome to the team. I just wanted to make sure that we go over the project again, just a reminder of what you signed up for. And so the first thing that you signed up for is to travel to RE Plus in Las Vegas, which is this coming up very, very quickly. So I apologize again for pushing this so fast, but I appreciate your quick responses to all my questions that I've been asking. And we will go through trying to finalize all of the participants by the end of this call. So hopefully maybe some people have some updates for me. So that's the first big deliverable, and we'll dig into that in a little bit more detail. Then after, so the idea behind RE Plus is to go and to do some research and to learn a bunch about wind and solar. Well, there's not going to be a lot of wind people there. There's going to be a lot of solar people there and a lot of battery people there. So you're going to be able to learn about some of the systems that you're going to need to develop in a hybrid demo project. And so after that, you'll take that all back to your university, or meet with your client, try to figure out what you're trying to do. And the plan is to have our final technical drawings of that system design by December 2023. So by the end of fall semester, we'd like to have on paper as complete of a design as possible. And then we will do a technical review, and we will invite students out to the Distributed Wind Energy Conference again in Washington, D.C. at the end of February. And we'll host a student symposium like we did with the last research group. And that's an opportunity to present to each other, hopefully to industry, and do some networking around the project so far. So where you've gotten so far. And then in the spring semester, we will have some more funding available. And these numbers may change because we may have more funding than we thought, because we had enough funding for 10 schools and we only have 6 of you. So we might be able to bump those up a little, but we'll see what our budget looks like after DWIA. And then the idea would be that you at the university would get another $1,500 to support the installation of your demonstration project. So like tools and labor, interns, whatever you need. And then the client, assuming it's different than the university, some of you all, it'll be the same client, would then get an extra $3,000 to help with purchasing the actual hardware. Because as you can imagine, if you're working with your local high school, you don't want to buy a turbine and then figure out how the university is going to give a turbine to a high school. That doesn't work. So that way, the high school can buy the turbine with the seed funds, and then you just help with the installation. And this is all, if it becomes a problem, we can talk about it. But that's kind of the way we have seen this, is that you would get $1,500, and then the school would apply, or your K-12 client would apply for a separate pot of money that would go directly to them to purchase hardware and materials and things like that. And then the last piece of the puzzle is, if people are up for it and want to go for it, we are inviting everybody out to Clean Power, which is the big industry trade conference that's in Minneapolis this year, the beginning of May. We don't have travel money rolled into this for DWIA and for Clean Power. They're optional, but just know that Repowering Schools always has travel scholarships available through another program. So you can always apply for travel assistance through that. So that's the project overview. Lots of opportunities to show off what you're doing and meet with industry, and hopefully the opportunity to install your demonstration project. So I wanted to spend a majority of our time digging into RE Plus, but before I dig into the upcoming event, I'm going to stop. Does anybody have any questions about the project overview, what the whole kind of project is about? Is it what you remember you applied for? Awesome. Well, without any
I have just one question in terms of the deliverables. The first phase, like by end of December, we should have provide like the drawings, technical things. And then for the second phase, so the deliverables also should be submitted in the form of like a report, or how do you evaluate, or do you want us to deliver the final result in May?
Oh, that is, so the second part of this is completely optional, because like, not that your client wouldn't like the design that you come up with, but if it's like financially not going to happen, or the timeline doesn't work out. So the bulk of our kind of deliverables is the technical review. And then after that, the installation is fantastic. And we'd love for you to share a story about what it looks like when it's done, but it doesn't have to be done by May. It just, if you do proceed with an installation, we'd love to know about it, kind of thing. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. There's no like funding contingent on installation or anything that you owe us. It's just keeping us posted. Awesome. Good questions. I see there's something in the chat. I just, got it around. Okay. So I wanted to dig into the upcoming event. The big thing is that I really do want to make sure that I know exactly who's coming. I have to put in our hotel reservation today, and I need names, all the people that are going to be there. And then I will, once I confirm all the students and faculty members that are attending the conference, I will send you guys the link to register for RE+, because the faculty members who are attending will get a full registration, like a full pass registration, and the students are getting a student registration. So it's two separate links, but that will give you full access to all of the sessions and the exhibit floor while you're there. But that's on you. I will give you a code, and you're going to have to go in there and make sure you're registered. Okay. And I will make sure you have a place to stay and some money to eat food. And then hopefully that'll be everything. So again, we're excited to have you come. This is a huge, like ginormous, huge, like, I don't even know if you can wrap your head around this. There's going to be 20,000+ people there, and there's 1,400 vendors or more. And it's stretched across the Venetian and Caesars Forum. So there's like two entities. There's a bus that's going to run between the two. It's going to be sheer and utter chaos, and it's going to be fantastic for meeting people and networking and learning a lot about renewable energy systems. And there we go. Perfect. So here is what you need to know. We are booking hotels rooms for everybody at the Homewood Suites by Hilton, Las Vegas City Center. The address is here. I would suggest you write it down. I will send it out again in an email for everybody. It's not super far from the hotel or from the airport, and I'm assuming there's going to be a shuttle or something. But this is where you'll be staying. The default of the room, unless you tell me differently, is that folks will be checking in on Monday the 11th and checking out on Thursday the 14th. All right, so if you want to check in a day earlier, if you want to stay later, if you're not going to stay for Thursday, just let me know so I can make sure that the hotel rooms are reserved for the appropriate times for everybody. And I've got everybody sharing a room, except for faculty members, unless you told me you don't mind sharing a room with a student. But for the most part, faculty members get a room, and then there's two students from each university in another room. So that's kind of where lodging is at this point. And like I said, I would love to, for those of you who are on the call, if you could just finalize and, get me up to speed on if, who's coming and when you're planning to show up and things like that, that would be fantastic. And then for meals, breakfast is provided by the hotel. And then I will give everybody a $150 Visa gift card when you arrive at orientation on Monday. And that should cover you for your meals for the rest of the week. Again, we're planning for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday with people leaving on Thursday. So if you're planning to stay the whole week, yeah, $150 isn't going to cover you for 5 days, but it's going to cover you for the programming that we have set for you. Per the government per diem rates, it's probably was the easiest thing that I could figure out. So hopefully that's good. And if you eat cheap at all those all you can eat, buffets, then you'll have some extra money to Uber around and, go see a show or something. I don't know. Don't tell me what you use it for. All right. So I'm going to stop there. Are there questions?
May I ask a question?
Of course.
Does the hotel have the free parking space? How to reserve a parking space?
No, I think it's I want to say it's $10 a day. I can get to you. I didn't think many people were going to be driving, but if you are driving, let me know and I can maybe I can get you that information.
Okay, great. Thank you. I will be driving.
Okay. And I think since you're the only one from your team coming, correct?
So far, yes.
Okay. I think that we can just have them put that on your room and we'll just take care of it for you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
No, yeah, no problem. Any other questions about lodging? Okay. So here is the lay of the land. It's not the best map in the world. You're looking at these kind of teal dots. So this is the airport down here. Like I said, it's not super far to get to your hotel, which is the Homewood Suites here. And then the conference is at Caesars and the Venetian. And like, I think they told me like 80% of the conference is happening at the Venetian. And like, there's only like some other stuff at the at Caesars Forum, which is where our booth is. So yay for us, but apparently it won't be as crowded. So it might give us an opportunity to have some nice informal meetings with some industry folks. And like I said, I believe they said there's a bus that goes between the two. So if you wanted to get from like the Venetian to the Caesars for a meeting or something or a session, there is a bus. So that's helpful. But I'm not sure. There is a monorail apparently, but I don't know if the monorail runs between the hotel and the conference area. But hopefully it's not too big of a walk for you all. That's the lay of the land. And then here's the schedule. So like I said, we're suggesting that you arrive on Monday. And then, like I said, you're welcome to leave Wednesday evening if you want, but things will go until about 5 o'clock. For those of you who, don't mind flying late, that's an opportunity to get back for Thursday classes if you need to. But otherwise, we're happy to have you stay one last night and then leave on Thursday. The conference does go through, I think, like midday on Thursday. So you're welcome to stick around. You do have that pass. We're just not programming anything because I figured there were people that were going to need to get back for classes. So on Monday, we will have an orientation at the Venetian at 1:30. If you can get there, that's great. We're going to spend about an hour going over some of the details of the schedule and, working on elevator pitches and making sure you guys are ready to show up on a show floor with 1,400 vendors and get something out of it. So it's going to be a little bit of prep work. And then just kind of getting the lay of the land. And then you have all been invited to participate in the first timers orientation, which is something that's offered by the conference organizers. And that will be at 3 o'clock. And that's going to give you kind of the wider view of the conference and a bigger lay of the land. And then on Tuesday, we will start with kind of our programming. Rather than create parallel programming, bringing speakers to you to talk to you about various things related to renewable energy demonstration, project design, and hybrid systems, we figured we would teach you a bit of how to navigate an industry conference to find that information and to do research and to network. So we will give you a shorter list of sessions that we have highlighted that seem like they might be the most interesting to you all in your career development and your project research. That will be a lot shorter than the full conference program, which you can access online anytime. And so we'll encourage you to go to some sessions and listen to some talks. We will also provide you with some guided show floor time. As you can imagine, if you've never been to one of these and you show up and there's 1,400 vendors, you're going to get a little bit, maybe taken aback. And we want to make sure that you make the most of that show floor time. So Charles and myself and one of our other board members, Ian, are going to make ourselves available at various times throughout the day. We'll meet at the Repowering Schools booth and then head out onto the exhibit floor for like an hour of us, kind of helping you understand, who the companies are that you might want to talk to and things like that. And then we encourage you to stay on that show floor as long as you want during the day between sessions. And then we've also planned meet and greets for you all with some companies that we work closely with, either through sponsorships or partnerships. So we have those scheduled throughout the day on Tuesday, and then also on Wednesday. And I'm still working out some of the details there, but I will have that all 100% ready for you by the time you show up for orientation on the 11th. Wednesday, we'll do a similar format. The guided show floor times, we will do them, offer them again, but I think at that point it might be optional for you guys. I'm not sure that you'll need a second kind of shepherding around that exhibit floor, but we'll be available if you do. And then there is a career fair from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Now, I'm not sure if you're looking for an internship or a job, but I'm going to encourage everybody to register for that. And that's next on these slides is how you register for that. It's free. They just want to know who's coming. But I think it's worthwhile to just walk around and see who's hiring, what kind of positions they're hiring for, just even as recon, even if you're not at that point where you're looking for jobs and internships. And then, like I said, we have some more meet and greets set up for Wednesday at various locations, and we'll go over all that during orientation in more detail. And then if anybody's sticking around on Thursday, we are going to be hanging out with these kids, school kids that have been competing in the Hydrogen Grand Prix. They're building hydrogen-powered cars and racing them at RE+. And on Thursday, they'll have a little bit of downtime to go see the show floor. And they've asked us to provide some guides, I guess you would call it. So some of our board members and Repowering Schools staff, and if any of you college students are around and would like to help out with that, we would use you as well to just shepherd them around this show floor like we did for you. And then they'll probably have a scavenger hunt that they're going to have to fill out. Any questions about the schedule? It's a brief overview before we get to orientation where we'll dig into it a little deeper. Awesome. Okay, so here it is. This is more information about the RE+ Clean Energy Job Fair. It's going to be in Caesars Forum. That's where our booth is. It's a great place, and you're going to get to meet tons of companies that are hiring. And if you are going to attend, and again, I would highly recommend all of the students who are attending to go ahead and click on this link, and I can send this in a follow-up email or take a picture of the screen or however you want to do that. I didn't have time to make a QR code. I apologize. But you're going to want to register in advance to let them know that you're going to show up for this. Any questions about the job fair? I would bring business cards with a link to your LinkedIn, but I probably wouldn't bother with resumes because everybody's going to ask you to apply online. So if you're looking at what you might want to bring in preparation, I would bring a business card with some QR codes and links and things like that on it, as opposed to a big old resume. That's my suggestion. Okay, moving right along. Okay, so that's the details of RE+. Anybody have any questions about RE+? Everybody's excited to go, right? It's gonna be great.
Oh yeah.
Okay. It's gonna be fantastic. Again, I need to get final names to everybody, to the conference organizers and to our hotel today. So I hate to put the pin in it here, but I feel like we have, I'm not sure if I have everything from everybody yet. I know JMU hasn't decided who they're sending. Jim, did you have students already decided on?
I've got one student who's committed, and I will have the second student by the end of this presentation here.
Awesome. And John, I think you already sent me the Oberlin student who's going, right? Is that right?
I think we have two students going, Otavio and Ryan, and I think
Yes.
Charles would have sent along their information. Is that correct, Charles?
That is correct, Remy. I in the spreadsheet on the travel tab, I think it is, I added their emails as links to their names and filled in the rest of the information.
Yes, that is right. So yes, UMass, I have 2 students TBD, but Jim says he's got those. And then Yuan, you said do you think you're gonna have a student? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. I just need to reserve you 1 room, right?
Right. Just 1 room with 2 beds. I mean, I guess maximum number probably is one student with me. So 1 room is okay with 2 beds. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I'll hope that that's okay. And then, so I guess the big thing is JMU, but App State, so Duncan and Joey are coming. Is that correct still?
One more, Mr. Jujuyuki, if you, Remy, agree, we'll be grateful because and then we don't mind if they all go in 1 room, if that works.
Okay, so you're saying you would like to have 3 students in 1 room and then a room for you.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know what the hotel will say about that, but I will try. What's the name? Is it gonna be Jacob?
It's Jujuyuki. His name is on your screen, Remy.
Oh, okay.
It's written on. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Chiju. What, okay.
I can provide you with his full name, in the email.
Yeah, that's perfect.
It's after that. Yes.
Okay. Okay, that's perfect. And then, so I think it's just Jim and John Miles that I need to confirm with. Okay, otherwise everything's looking good. And I think everybody told me if they're not coming Monday and checking out Thursday, like everybody told me that already.
Remy, just want to make sure that for Cal State San Marcos, you have the information and the name
I
of
have
the student.
Chris and Miguel, right? Are you coming though, Hamed?
No, unfortunately, I could.
Okay. That was my question, but thank you for verifying that for me.
I think I have sent the name of the students' email addresses and also the check-in, check-out.
Yes, I have all of that for you. You are good to go. And
Remy,
Yes.
I think I will check in. I already sent you the email. I will check in on Sunday, September 10th, because I need maybe 1 day to drive.
Yes.
And I plan to check out on I forgot it's Friday. So I check out Friday so that I can take a break on Thursday. So then a whole day driving. So Friday.
Yep.
So Sunday to Friday.
I have you down for that. Yep. And we, like I said, we have $1,500 per team. So because you're not bringing students and having a second room, we can probably handle that.
Thank you so much.
Okay. And John, you're not able to participate. That's fine. Okay. So I think that's the, bulk of the kind of travel logistics and things like that. Like I said, as soon as I have firmed up everybody's participation, I will make sure that the hotels are reserved, but then I will also make sure that you get an email and you're going to get a code, like a promo code to enter when you register for RA+. There's going to be 1 code for the students and 1 code for the faculty members. And I will make sure to email that to you as soon as I get it from the organizers, but it should be tomorrow, Friday at the latest, so that you guys can all take care of that.
Remy, just one question.
Yes.
For faculty members who cannot travel, So still we can register using the code you sent to us. And are they planning to have like the conference probably might plans to have some remote or virtual sessions, do you think, or is it all in person?
I think it's all in person.
Okay.
Yeah, so unfortunately, if you're not able to attend, I don't think you'll be able to you're just gonna have to rely on Chris and Miguel to like just do it up and make sure they give you the whole rundown.
Yeah.
It'll be great. And then you get to come next year, it'll be great.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Okay, well, I just had one last slide to share with you guys. And hold on. Which is basically just what our next steps are. So I'll just pop that up on the screen and we can finish out our session here. So I just have to find it. Here we go. Okay, so after we go to RE Plus and the students have gained that amazing knowledge that they need to then go back to their schools and start working with their clients and designing their renewable energy systems. The next step is that we will try to coordinate some monthly calls. And these are optional, but highly recommended because they're a fun way for us to gather, more frequently just to hear how projects are coming, maybe talk through common issues that we're having, peer mentoring kind of thing. And I don't know, we have a big span of time zones here, so I know it's always challenging. So we will do our best to figure out the best time to have these. Do you think like an evening for everybody would be better than trying to do this during a school day? I know evening means something very different for East Coast than it does for West Coast, but is that going to be an easier push, or do we try to stick it in the school day and hope that people's classes don't clash with it?
Maybe the best is to just send a couple of suggestions and just see what time best for everyone.
Okay, well, we'll do that. Hi, kiddo. Nice glasses. Okay, I gotta finish up my coffee.
My case.
Okay, I gotta finish my coffee. And then we will figure that out, and I will send a calendar invite with Zoom information as soon as we get that handled. The other thing is we will want to schedule our first informational webinar. And this will be a big follow-up to RE Plus, where we can talk about, everything we learned and start synthesizing everything and really help you to start designing that system for your clients. So I'd like to plan that for October. Yep. So give you a couple of weeks to kind of process and think about it. And like I said, oh, sorry.
Moodle, poll, something like that.
Yeah.
Moodle. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do a when to meet or something. I can do that. Sounds great. So those are the two things that we will be planning for you. And then again, your design deliverable, which we will talk about in more detail of what that needs to look like. That will be due at the end of the fall semester. So that means something different to everybody, but I guess aim for 15th to the 20th of December, somewhere in that time frame. And the idea would be it's a complete design of that hybrid system with schematics and parts lists and costs and performance characteristics. Basically something that you would hand off to your client and then they could go and make it happen. Again, that's probably what you're going to be doing in the spring semester, but the idea is that it could be a standalone document. Because honestly, we're using this a bit selfishly because we would love to have a place on the Repowering Schools website where a school who thinks they want a renewable energy demonstration project could come and be like, oh, look, there's one that powers a picnic table and a garden. And oh, look, that one's a small microgrid. Oh, and that one's a dual energy transition demonstration. And they could pick one and at a price point, if they all have costs associated with them, and maybe pick something that works for their school. So the idea is to have kind of like stock models that somebody could download and say, yes, I want to do that at my school, as opposed to having to go back to a school and ask for a custom design. Does that, maybe Charles, you can say that?
Totally. I mean, yeah, the other way to look at it is that, these tiny hybrid systems don't have to be expensive. They don't have to be complicated, and yet they can be tremendously useful. So it's, in my mind, it's really about demystifying it and just making it so people are converts and they can start to just get people to be more fluent in what hybrid systems are and why hybrids are a cool technology, a cool mashup of technologies.
Yeah, and I see it as like a listing of best practices. So like, you know, we have a lot of different models that a school could be like, oh, somebody's already, you know, powered their chicken coop with solar. So let's just download their system design and we can take it to our local installer and get them to help us with it, raise the money.
Yep.
So that's the ultimate goal, and is for us to showcase these on our website.
Yeah.
And then, of course, for you all to implement them and share your stories with us. And that'd be great too. Awesome. So with that, we have 5 minutes left. I think I did pretty good on time, guys. And I will leave it for you guys to ask any more questions that you have. Yay. Man, I did so good. I left him speechless, Charles. Look what I did. Or they're all stuck on mute. I don't know.
It's funny. I had a conversation with somebody out of Puerto Rico, no, Dominican Republic, and we were talking about hybrid systems, and they wanted to do something, and talked about this whole design, and they have all these papers they've written about turbine and hybrid design, and it's from the fundamentals side, and it's, you know, like you end up with a design of a turbine, like, oh, I need a turbine that has a, you know, a 42-foot diameter, and I need a panel that looks like this, in order it's optimized. And it's like, it reminds me of when we used to, at NREL, we used to do those similar kind of sizing studies, when in fact you go from the other direction and you're like, okay, I've got a wind turbine that's this big. I can afford a panel or two. What's it going to do for me? What can I do with it? It's not like you go to the hardware store and say, I need a 3/8 inch drill with 42.5 foot-pounds. You're like, I need a 3/8 inch drill. What can I do with it? Right. And so that's a lot of this is, I think it's much less about designing the system, but understanding what a system can do, right? We have a turbine that's in this size category that's likely to work for most people, and that's going to be affordable. Question is, what will it do at your site? And the process of determining that, which is a wind resource assessment, if you want to call it that, which is a, you know, then a net energy generation and delivery assessment, you know, and there's a solar generation assessment, and there's a battery loss and efficiency and an inverter. And it's sort of like, that's what we want to kind of promote, is that this stuff is not complicated. It's not rocket science, and it's kind of fun. And it's, you know, we don't get to design our own cars. We just buy a car and then we use it, right? And that's kind of, this is the same thing. It's not that different. So let's demystify it and get people to stop paying $4,000 for a fancy kit from somebody who wants to really take you to, you know, make, you know, whatever, to rip you off. And it drives me crazy. These resilient home systems for emergencies, people are packaging tiny inverters and a single battery, and they're overcharging by 6x. It's like, you could, for the same amount of money, you can have a system that actually does something, you know? That's where I come from.
I think it's great. I think this is back to what Wind for Schools used to be. And I love having the college students working to promote education at their local schools or with a local community college. I think it just kind of gets us back to our roots. And I think I would love to figure out a way for this to be a funded project every year. So I will work on that. You just get through the first one so I can prove to the funders that this is worthwhile and awesome. And then I will bring you the money.
Remy, did you talk about the original like turbines that we did for Wind for Schools a long time ago? Yeah, it wasn't about designing a turbine that was going to meet the needs of the school. There was a turbine, 2.4 kilowatts on a 30-foot pole, like not optimal. But what, you know, it wasn't even like, it was sort of where you put it, but more is like the process of a school going to a, you know, college or a team going to another remote school or a school somewhere and saying, we'd like to do this for you. We'd like to raise the money for you. We'd like to get the interconnection agreement done. We'd like to get the permitting done. We'd like to, you know, get the foundation set up, find people to build it. And it's that process of developing a project around a common piece of kit that the teams learn so much, you know. And a lot of times, in some cases, they would go after supplemental environmental funds or SEP funding. it was a penalties or whatever, EPA funding. That is an amazing tool. Like there's millions of dollars in that bucket in every state. Nobody knows about it. Nobody knows how to access it. And schools figured that out, how to do that. And they put in lots and lots of turbines. So it's kind of cool. Anyway, we really appreciate you guys all willing to be guinea pigs, because you kind of are a little bit. We're figuring this out as we go.
Thank you, Charles. It was really great.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
appreciate you guys and here to help in any way we can. And we're looking forward to seeing you in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And helping you along the way.
You bet.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
I'll
Thank
send an
you.
email with that link, so you'll get it.
Yeah, thank you.